117, and also the International Coalition for Human Rights in the Philippines, or ICHRP. Thank you. I'll be one of our co-MCs tonight.
Mainit na pagbati to everyone. Warm greetings. My name is Brandon. I'm from Bayan, Washington, a multi-sectoral alliance of Filipino organizations of youth, of women, of migrants, fighting for the rights and welfare and a genuinely sovereign and democratic Philippines for our people. Also a member of Tanggol Migrante Washington, a network of Filipino migrants and their families in the community who are united to defend migrants during this time.
Our regional ICHRP US formation also just united to sign on to the Tanggol Migrante network as of this day of action. So thanks for being here. I was actually just traveling back from the Philippines on Sunday with some others that were part of the ICHRP International Observers Mission of the Philippine midterm election. There's some folks that have some flyers around what that is, but I believe that I was actually traveling with others around 4 days after Kuya Max was detained at SeaTac. We actually came through from the Philippines. They didn't even look at our passports. Can we get a shame for what's happening? Shame! Yeah. We're here to stand up for what's happening to Kuya Max, to Auntie Lynn, to every other migrant that's detained in that building behind us. Thank you for coming with labor solidarity, migrant solidarity. We have a really good program tonight, this afternoon. I'm glad it's sunny out and not raining on us. But I'm going to pass to our security lead to give a quick orientation to the space we're in and the road here. If I can pass to, yeah, thank you. Milo, right? Yeah.
Hey everybody, my name is Milo. I am part of Tacoma DSA. I'm an IAM 751 member, part of the Machinist Reform Action Committee, and your safety lead today. Major concern here is the road behind us. We have marshals in vests who will try and keep the crowd inside the cones. We need to keep a lane clear behind us. We're not expecting to see any cops or counter-protesters, but if we do, we have de-escalators who have experience to try and deal with them. If you do see police here, John in the green shirt is our police liaison, so please try and direct them to him. And Aoife in the vest is our medic for today. If you see anybody that is having a medical issue, please try and raise your hand. If somebody sees somebody raising their hand, try and point and get attention over to them. All right, yeah, it should be a pretty safe event here, and thank you all for coming out. It's really important that we're standing together with Max, my union brother, who is detained right now, and all of the migrants who are in there. So thank you all.
All right, make some noise if you're here to support Kuya Max. How about Auntie Lynn? How about Kuya Dante? We're here to support our kababayans, our fellow Filipinos who are here in this detention center. But actually, if you look on the news, if you look at what's happening right now, there are Filipinos detained by ICE, by this country, all across the USA right now. And we're actually joined today by many other migrant advocates, by migrants themselves, who are fighting back. Today is Migrante USA's National Day of Action. So actually, all across the country, our kababayan, our people, are standing up to fight for what's happening right now. One thing we'll hear a lot today about the work that's being done to support Filipino migrants and all migrants. One of the biggest themes that we've encountered, you'll hear much more about it, is the neglect, the utter neglect, the disregard of the Philippine state, which has a duty to protect its own nationals, right? the demands of Filipino migrants across the country for assistance to Nationals Fund, which is money that the Philippine government is set aside to give to migrants in distress, it's nationals in distress, appeals for legal support, appeals for even welfare checks. They have been totally ignored. Migrants have been blamed for their own conditions. So this is the context in which this National Day of Action is really happening right now. So we know that if the Filipino consulate will not stand up for its own migrants, its own people, right, our communities, that means we have to do exactly what we're doing today, right? We have to stand together and support each other. So we'll hear so much more about these stories today. The first group of people I want to bring up is Tanggol Migrante Washington, that can share more about the work they've been doing to really help support migrants and their families in this time, and we can also hear from families themselves. So I'll bring up Shar and Jada.
Hi everyone. It's so great to see the turnout for today. My name is Charlene. I'm part of the Tanggol Migrante network here in Washington. And we are a network of Filipino organizations, individuals of different statuses, really coming together to defend for our migrants in this need during this time. And during our time here as building as Tanggol Migrante, we've been able to really connect with multiple families who are being greatly impacted right now.
Hi everyone, my name is Jada. I'm also with the Tanggol Migrante network here in Washington. Sorry, my voice is a little hoarse today, so we'll pass the mic to Shar for the remainder.
Yeah, so just to kind of share, Tanggol Migrante came out of the the U.S. elections when Trump was nominated or elected as president. And so we knew we needed to quickly respond, knowing that the attacks on migrants were going to be rampant. The Philippine state, the Philippine embassy, Romualdez, he really clearly stated that Filipinos should just self-deport and that they had no responsibility for the means of providing any support for them during this time, whereas many other countries have stepped up to provide that support. Shame, yeah. And so we quickly organized a network. Here locally, we have 16 clusters that were built across the state, really to provide that support, know your rights trainings, and things like that, just to ensure that, community doesn't feel alone. And we've been able to quickly mobilize for our kababayan here, knowing that there's this detention center here that's been really, really having terrible conditions. So we got in contact with Auntie Lynn's family a couple months ago and have been really working alongside them to really demand for Auntie Lynn's release. And through that, through her story, we've been able to connect with more families. She connected with us, with Ate Michelle, who was in the detention center alongside her and really needed that extra support. So we were able to go in and make visits for Auntie Lynn and Ate Michelle and really understand what is the support that is needed. And really put forth the demands of our kababayan in detention to the consulate when they were visiting here. And through our efforts, we continuously saw that the consulate was continuing to not do anything. And so it was really through Tanggol Migrante coming together that we pressured them to come here and visit Auntie Lynn and Ate Michelle. And we pressured them to do something. So when they went inside, they actually, all they asked was, so how are you doing? Is there anything we could do? And the immediate needs we've been telling them is that they need assistance to nationals, which is a fund that is put aside for Filipinos in distress that are overseas. And they have kept saying over and over that it's not in their jurisdiction to intervene, and we are continuing to pressure them to say, no, that's not true. You can intervene and protect your Philippine nationals.
I think time and time again, we've also seen how they respond, particularly by denying that they're able to even give specific types of support, such as legal support or monetary support. When they do their checks, they do not make mention of the Assistance to Nationals Fund. Even to, at one point, when they did do a visit to Auntie Lynn, she was the one who brought up, how can I receive ATM? And their response was, how did you hear about that?
Here in the Northwest Detention Center in just the last week, Kuya Max and Kuya Dante, it was really through Auntie Lynn's story that, Crystal was able to reach out to us and learn about, Tanggol Migrante and the work that we've been doing, and we've been supporting alongside the family. And then also with the story of Crystal and Kuya Max is how we got connected with Dante's family too. So both of them have been coming back from the Philippines on vacation, and both are green card holders, have been here for a very long time. They came here at a young age, and they have lived their lives here, for many, many decades. And they were detained at the airport and was held there for many days. And so, through Tanggol Migrante, we quickly responded and mobilized to the airport, delivered these documents that they said that they needed in order to release them, and continued to say that these documents that were collected were not sufficient enough. We're seeing parallels between the families and what they were saying to release them, and really seeing that it may just be a tactic to continue to hold them. And so we have been really calling the Philippine consulate to intervene, especially before the transfer was supposed to happen here in the Northwest Detention Center, and to do something. Do your job. Yeah, do your job. And so, to this day, we have this National Day of Action. We have the synthesized demands of our kababayan across the country, that there's more detained in the other detention centers, and still seeing that as we did calls today, people have delivered the letters at the consulate, that they canceled the meeting on us. And then when I got through calling on the phone, they just keep deferring people to email them. But we've been emailing them for weeks. Yay. And so coming here together really to show solidarity and support for our kababayan is really powerful to see, that we can really come together and be strong, and really continue to push forward the demands and pressure the Philippine government to do their job. And I'm gonna pass it to the family members, to give them space to share if they'd like to.
Hi, I'm Misty. I'm Dante's wife, who was coming home from a vacation from visiting family, and he was detained at the airport on Sunday and had no communication with the customs at SeaTac at all. They would just tell me that if they knew anything or if they needed anything else from me, what I had already sent them, they would let me know. They didn't tell me he was being transferred here at all. I had no communication. Dante was able to call me and left me a voicemail letting me know that he was being transferred here.
Shame.
He's been here since 1997. We've been married almost 21 years, and he's being held here for closed charges from almost 10 years ago. We thought we had closed that chapter in our lives and moved on, but it seems like he's being punished for it a second time. And we just want him home. My name's Crystal Lindonio. I'm the spouse of Maximo Lindonio. And I'm sorry that we have to be meeting on these circumstances. But we have to bring awareness that this is happening right now. And the only way to do that is united, stronger than we've ever been. From the first time that I did the press conference, I felt so broken. I felt so lost. But it was because of the support of his union and also Tanggol Migrante to help bring me up so that I can help others. I want my husband home. Our children want their dad. And I'm gonna fight like hell to make that happen. The same as other people, other detainees. They went through a chapter in their life. Things change, people grow, they grow up. Don't hold that against them. Instead, we're supposed to learn from those situations and be better as human beings, as parents, as individuals that commit to their communities. We're vested, we've been here. This is where we wanted to plant our roots. We want to keep our children in the same schools. We want to keep our same jobs. And we're going to fight like hell every day to make sure that that happens. Max wanted me to also say that he thanks everyone for their support, their courage, their strength to stand by him, in front of him, wherever we need to be to hold each other up. He thanks everyone. But with that strength, we also hold up our sisters and brothers to do the same thing. And I thank everybody for supporting our family, because we have to hold people accountable for their actions. They have to be responsible. Just as we have to be responsible and we're being held to our actions, they should do the same. And we're doing the same. So if it means to call every day, if it means to send letters every day to bring awareness, that's how we stand. That's how we stand united. And we make change for our kids, our future, so that they can live the dreams they want to live. I thank you guys so much for your support and continued support. And with this, I found strength, I found my courage, and I found purpose so that I can help others. We gotta keep doing that. That's how we pay it forward. Thank you.
Free Kuya Max!
Free Kuya Max!
Free Kuya Dante!
Free Kuya Dante!
Free Auntie Lynn!
Free Auntie Lynn!
Free them all!
Free them all!
All right. So I'm going to share the demands that we have for the families and for those who are detained inside. So the demands we have is for the Philippine Embassy, Romualdez, use diplomatic pressure to release Kuya Max, Kuya Dante, Auntie Lynn, and all other Filipinos in ICE detention now, or step down. And for the San Francisco Philippine Consulate to release assistance to nationals, to Kuya Max, Kuya Dante, and Auntie Lynn and their families. For ICE to communicate timely updates and release Kuya Max, Kuya Dante, and Auntie Lynn immediately. Provide medical attention to Kuya Dante now. End the attacks on migrants. Hands off our union members. Shut down the Northwest Detention Center. Free them all. And legalization for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to the TM Network. Thank you, Misty and Crystal, for sharing as well. I wanted to briefly read the statement that the Philippine Embassy actually had the boldness to post on Instagram today in response to these meeting requests. I don't know if folks have seen this, but they posted from Philippine USA, the official channel of the Philippine Embassy, Tanggol Migrante's request for a meeting with the embassy, while at the same time planning for major protest rallies in the U.S. on the same day, indicates a lack of sincerity to discuss concrete measures to assist our detained kababayan. That is disgraceful. Is there anything insincere about what we're hearing? No. Okay. Yeah, I'll continue on with our program, but it's just very infuriating to even see that they're posting that publicly. I would like to welcome up our next speakers from La Resistencia to talk about the conditions inside the Northwest Detention Center, and also to talk about the long history of their organization opposing the conditions and experiences of migrants here. I would like to welcome Perla and Rufina. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. It's really good your support for everybody. My name is Rufina Reyes, and I am director of La Resistencia. La Resistencia. Who knows La Resistencia? Yeah, okay. So La Resistencia have 11 years fighting against this detention center, and we know all the bad conditions every day. We have 3 lines, and we are taking calls every day from the people inside who is talking about the conditions. We are against the deportations. We are against separation of families. Like these families today here is probably maybe more than 14 or 1,500 people inside who is separate from their families right now. Yay! And they are on risk of die right now because the condition is terrible. We know nobody can be inside. Nobody should be separate from their families. The Resistencia fights against all forms of detentions because not just in here is people arrested, also is people arrested on their houses. So That's why it's very important to fight against that, against the system who oppress to our communities outside. So I'm gonna pass to Perla. She's gonna explain what is happening every day inside. How is the conditions? How is the people fighting, and all the retaliations they are suffering when they say or reclaim their rights inside.
Hi everyone, my name is Perla and I work along with La Resistencia. I'm in communication with the people inside every single day. Every single day I keep getting calls, I do video calls, and I also get messages from getting updates about the conditions inside. And I'm gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about what's going on inside right now. The conditions are getting worse every single day. Their clothes and blankets have not been washed in months. Literally in months. Same. The food is arriving late. Their dinner is coming around 8 till 10 or even later on. There's no medical help. People are waiting months to get any sort of help. One individual told us that a doctor inside told him, "You are like an old car. You can't be operated. You can't be helped." People have gone for almost a month without being outside. People are getting the money that we send inside. A lot of the individuals are telling us that their money is getting stolen from them. This week, on Tuesday, there was a deportation flight. Around 48 people got on a plane. 5 of them were women. 8 of them were men on a GXA plane at King County Airport. People are being forced to sign their deportation documents. And they're being sent to countries they don't know. So please, we're asking you guys to follow our Instagram where we post updates every single day about the conditions. Also, there are Free Them All campaigns that we do. So we're asking everyone to please call ICE, GEO, and our elected officials to shut down Northway Detention Center now. Please also share the campaigns. We recently posted one for Jose de Sen Quinteros. He has about 50 to 100 signatures, so please share his campaign. Thank you.
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down! Free them all! Shut it down! Free them all! Shut it down! Free them all! Free, free, free Auntie Lynn! Free, free, free Auntie Lynn! Free, free, free Kuya Max! Free, free, free Kuya Max! Free, free, free Kuya Dante! Free, free, free Kuya Dante! Free, 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 free them all! Free, 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 free them all!
Thank you, La Resistencia. If you want to share any updates, I think we're gonna move to our next speakers. Otherwise, next up, we'd like to welcome Ricky Howard from IAM Local 695 and other union members. Thank you, Ricky.
In case you didn't know who I was, my name is Richard Howard, or Ricky Howard, whichever you want to go by. Hey, you made it. We've got guys here from 2202, 751, 695, which is 89. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Winston Territory, Air Transport. We're here for the working class. We would like to see Max back in the shop. He's a shining light in the shop. Melissa, our organizer here, if you guys want to organize your shop, come find her. But we want to thank all you guys for coming out to support. I want to thank all of my IAM members, SEIU. I know there's several other unions here. Woofsy's here, and for coming out and helping us also. And we want to see these guys out and free because, like I said, we're here for the working class. We want to see these guys out making money for their families, feeding their families, and enjoying a good life like the rest of us. Sweet. Thank you from our union. I know I've talked to, I think, half the higher-ups today, and they all want to send their love, gratitude, and thanks for everyone that organized this and is helping us try and get Max and then these guys out of here. So thank you very much.
Free Max.
Now, so just to be quick, hey, my name's Steve Miller. I'm the directing business rep for the district. Listen, Max is a valued employee. He's a valued person. To do this, I can't put it, I never thought in all my life I would see this going on. I got no other word to put it that this is evil. I mean, let's just call it what it is. And this doesn't affect just Max, it's his family and his kids. And how further down the line are these kids gonna have to worry about this position? This is just not right. I will tell you that the Machinists Union, international level, as soon as we got word, they are demanding the immediate release of Max and everybody else. This should not be tolerated, and we absolutely have to stand together. I do not care if it's a Filipino or the Latino or anything else. This has to do with human dignity. That's it. And what happens to one affects all. We absolutely got to make a stand, and make a stand now, and it starts here. And it's not going to stop here. It's going to stop when they stop. Thank you. I'm not going to take up all your time, but that's the Machinists Union, and he's a proud member, and we all just got to make the stand. Thank you for coming out. Let's not end it here. Let's just continue.
One last thing I was just reminded of, June 6th, we're tentatively going to have another rally here. Our GVP, Bobby Martinez, is going to come up from California. He's really interested in seeing getting Max out, and he would love all your guys' love, support, and help. So.
Workers united! We'll never be defeated! Workers united! We'll never be defeated! Workers united! We'll never be defeated! Migrante ng bayan! Tuloy-tuloy ang laban! Migrante ng bayan! Tuloy-tuloy ang laban! Migrante ng bayan! Tuloy-tuloy ang laban! Injury to one is an injury to all! Injury to one is an injury to all! Injury to one is an injury to all! Injury to one is an injury to all!
Thank you. We're getting more updates from where our friends, our kababayans in San Francisco, have been able to confront the consulate with these demands for Max. A foreign service officer named Bakay didn't let us in. They came outside to talk to us. He doubled down on the claim that we are being insincere for demanding these things. He also said that the relationship between the consulate and Tanggol Migrante, the community, is damaged. That's his fault. That's his fault. That's Romualdez' fault, right? The U.S. ambassador to the Philippines who's doing nothing. I think it was made really clear, especially by the sharing of La Resistencia, by all the sharing so far, that we really don't have this time that he's talking about, right, to wait for his support, for this relationship to heal. I just want to share that we're also helping to raise some money to pay for legal fees and other needs for the families of the migrants. And so I have a box here. It has a QR code for a Venmo and also donations, right? Physical donations. So I'll put it over the table over here. But it's just really important for us. I think the perspective and the stance of the Philippine government is very clear. So as everyone's been saying, we have to keep fighting. Next, I want to bring up Seattle DSA, who wants to share a bit of poetry. So let's give a round of applause for Seattle DSA.
Romualdez, do your job or step down! Romualdez, do your job or step down! Romualdez, do your job or step down!
Thank you.
for that introduction. Hi, my name is Fernando. I'm a member of Seattle Democratic Socialists of America, and our members around the state are here because we believe in solidarity. We believe that Max, Auntie Lynn, and Dante should never been taken from their communities, and we call on them to be returned immediately along with all of you. Many of us, especially my comrades right here in the Tacoma chapter, have been here at this spot again and again protesting the continued abduction and detention of our neighbors, co-workers, and our union siblings. That's right. Now, as a gesture of solidarity for our comrades on the inside, I want to read a poem that I did not write. It is by Mila de Aguilar, a Filipina revolutionary, feminist, and poet who fought against the U.S. Marcos dictatorship. A comrade is as precious as a rice seedling. A comrade is as precious as a rice seedling. One of many, it is true, but nurtured by them whose faces grow dark and taut and lined for the sake of their rice seedlings. A comrade is as precious as a rice seedling for whom the peasant's hand grow thick and calloused, for whom his fingers scrape the hardened mud. A comrade is he for whom the peasant's toes get muscled and big, because like a rice seedling he will grow. One of many precious to fill the hunger of him who cared enough to nurture little seedlings. A comrade is as precious as a rice seedling, fed and nurtured, guarded from pestilence and flood. And yes, beloved of the peasant, because a rice seedling grows not only to fill his hunger, but to give birth to other rice seedlings, who will give birth to many more, who will fill the hunger of generations of peasants for food and land and right. Now, thank you to all of our comrades on the inside and all of our comrades out here. It's far past time for ICE and CPB to be abolished. These agencies have always been deeply racist instruments and have been used to tear people away from their families and communities under every president. But now these agencies form the extrajudicial apparatus of a state for repression that's being used by the current administration. Thank you all for being here today. We are stronger together. Now, I want to ask, who here is not already in a union or a political organization or a member of one of the groups that we've seen here today? I want you to raise your hands, not because I want to call you out, because I want to invite you in. So if there's anyone here who's not, just raise your hand, say hello to a friend. We got a few people around. Now, I'm very proud that I've already seen some of you talk to somebody else here. Make a new friend with a union. Learn how to form your union. Learn how to form a political organization or join one, because that's the way that working together we can fight and win for these things.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Now, thank you again for your time. Abolish ICE. Free all prisoners. From Palestine to the Philippines, we will not rest until all of us are free. Solidarity.
International solidarity, long live! International solidarity, long live! International solidarity. Money to jobs and education, not for war and occupation. Money for jobs and education, not for war and occupation. Money and jobs for education, not for war and occupation. Money jobs for education, not for mass deportation.
Thank you. Thank you, Seattle DSA. Thank you, Fernando. And thank you to Daniel for connecting the unions here today to Tanggol Migrante through our networks. The solidarity is really important. On the iChirp recent mission to the Philippines, we had DSA members with us from Washington, D.C. That was a really strong showing of solidarity, just as DSA out here today is an extremely strong showing of solidarity. So thank you again. Before we pass to our next speaker from SEIU 925, Brandon's going to give a little bit more info on Auntie Lynn's upcoming hearing and the response from the consulate today.
Yeah. Who here has a lot of love for Auntie Lynn? I just feel so lucky to really have actually gotten to visit Auntie Lynn in the last couple of weeks alongside many of my fellow organizers and anak bayan at the University of Washington. One of the things we've been really talking to Auntie Lynn about in the last couple of weeks has been the work that the consulate says it's been doing to support her. Auntie Lynn actually stopped picking up the consulate's calls because whenever they call, they don't help. They ask, hey, are you doing okay? And they don't say anything after that. She's been, she's been applying and demanding Assistance to Nationals Fund, ATN, for weeks now. She's been detained for almost 2 months. No word from the consulate. So really want to it really shows their priorities, right? Another detained migrant that we were able to support and eventually get out, Ate Michelle, a couple of weeks ago. She also had a application for Assistance to Nationals Fund, and we recently learned that she only received $200. $200 after months in detention and thousands in legal fees. So again, really emphasizing it is us that needs to keep fighting. It is us that needs to keep standing together, right? And so really want to welcome up SEIU 925 to also speak on that.
You don't care. Fight for Filipino rights and welfare. Neil Ferrer, you don't care. Fight for Filipino rights and welfare. Neil Ferrer, you don't care. Fight for Filipino rights and welfare.
Hi, my name's Marilyn Boches, and I'm the Secretary-Treasurer of SEIU Local 925. As many of you know, Auntie Lynn is an SEIU 925 union member and laboratory technician at the University of Washington Medical Center. She has been unjustly detained and in this detention center for almost 3 months now. Her co-workers and fellow union members have told us story after story of how she goes out of her way to help others learn valuable job skills at the University of Washington Medical Center. They describe her as one of the most dedicated and hardworking employees in that unit. Like many healthcare workers, she took on extra shifts during the COVID-19 pandemic without complaint. She is valued and appreciated and loved by her colleagues and her union co-workers. Auntie Lynn should be out here, home with her family and her friends and her cat. Families and communities belong together. SEIU 925 delivered a petition to the University of Washington Board of Regents. We need to be holding our employers accountable for their part in this as well, just like we are our politicians. We demanded that they do more to protect immigrant workers. We were able to get them to commit to keeping Llewellyn's job, but employers need to do way more than the bare minimum. A new state law allows workers to use accrued paid leave for immigration proceedings. But as we know, people have been inside this detention center for months at a time. We want employers like the University of Washington to go further. We want workers to be able to donate shared paid leave to their coworkers for the purpose of immigration proceedings. Because we know many of her colleagues would gladly donate their own paid leave to time to help Llewellyn or other colleagues unjustly detained. The University of Washington also has a ridiculous policy where if you don't show up for work after 3 days, they consider it that you abandoned your job. But as we've seen, it sometimes takes way longer than that to realize someone has even been taken by ICE. They need to make exceptions to this policy or get rid of it altogether, and we're going to continue to fight to do that. As union members, we see through the Trump regime scapegoating of immigrants. We know this is an attempt to divide us. We see it all the time with our workplace fights, right? The boss will try to pit us against each other so we have less power to change things. but we know that we are stronger together.
Yes.
That's right.
In fact, that's the SEIU slogan, stronger together. We will not fall for their attempts to divide us. Free Auntie Lynn, free Max, free Dante, free them all. Solidarity.
As Auntie Crystal often reminds us, we must call for accountability. And this is clearly an attack on workers. This is clearly an attack on migrant workers. So when workers' rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When migrants' rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When human rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. And what do we do? Stand up, fight back. And that's how we get accountability. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, next up, I'm gonna bring up Dylan from the International Migrants Alliance.
Thank you. My name is Dylan. I am part of Capybara Colectiva, a grassroots anti-imperialist migrants organization here in Seattle and Tacoma. And we are a member organization of the International Migrants Alliance, or IMA. IMA is a global network of grassroots migrants organizations founded in 2008 by domestic workers in Hong Kong. Its goal is to combat the root causes that force migrants to leave their homelands in the first place. We are here today because migrants across the state and across the nation are under attack. The droves of violent enemy migrants of Trump's imagination do not exist. In reality, our beloved migrant community members and activists are being scapegoated, imprisoned, and disappeared without due process by the United States government. Many of these folks have credible fear of returning home due to the destabilization and impoverishment of their home countries by the United States. Right now, across the country, people like Auntie Lynn, Kuya Max, and Kuya Dante are being detained going through airport security. People are going into their ICE check-ins and are being called into unscheduled check-ins, and ICE is detaining them there. People like Lelo are being stopped on the road, their windows smashed in and pulled out of their cars. People are being disappeared to mega prisons in third countries like El Salvador. Student activists are being detained at home for speaking out against genocide. Workplaces are being raided. Asylum claims are being ignored. People that have been detained are choosing to self-deport because of the deplorable conditions like La Resistencia has documented here at this for-profit concentration camp. Even if Trump's lies were true, no one deserves this treatment. The immigration system in this country has always served the interests of politicians, not the people. It is used to hide the fact that U.S. imperialism is the driving force behind migration, and it pushes blame onto its victims. Every day, so many Filipinos, Venezolanos, Angolans, Mexicanos, and other migrants around the world leave their homes, driven by the scarcity created by imperialist political and economic interventions in their homelands. When they arrive in the U.S., they face exploitation, trafficking, and fascist attacks by the government. But migrants and community members across the country are coming together to fight back. Locally, IMA is boosting the demands of migrants and asylum seekers to Bob Ferguson. He promised to keep migrant children in schools after their parents are deported. And we say that's not good enough. We call on Bob Ferguson to declare a state of emergency for migrants and asylum seekers in Washington state and prohibit eviction or increases in rent. Provide a plan and implement protection for all migrants against detention and deportation. intervene to stop deportation flights to El Salvador and Guantanamo Bay and Sudan. Stop the complicity and protect our community. Pass the $61 million for the WAMAS program, funding in the state budget, and develop accountability to work with migrants and for long-term solutions that work for their individual needs and ensure that the money is spent responsibly and economically. We echo the demands to stop the attack on migrants, to end deportation and detention, to shut down NWDC, and to free them all. On this August 30th and 31st, Seattle will be hosting the EMA US National Political Conference. If you or your organization would like to be involved, please come talk to me or fill out our interest form bit.ly/PolCon25. Migrantes unidos jamás serán vencidos. Migrantes unidos jamás serán vencidos.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Ang tao, ang bayan, ngayon ay ang laban. The people united will never be defeated. Will never be defeated. The people united.
Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, International Migrants Alliance and Capybara. Before we welcome up our next speaker from the Washington State Labor Council, I actually have a solidarity statement to share on behalf of Teamsters Local 117. I work every day with members of SCIU 925, so thank you, Marilyn, at a wastewater treatment plant. It's Teamsters and SCIU members together. When I learned of Auntie Lynn's detainment, my labor union was out here as well alongside SCU 925. So I appreciate the solidarity that's being shown here. This is a short statement, but adding on to what has been said already from Dylan as well. Teamsters 117 extends solidarity to our IAM brother Max Londoña, as well as continued solidarity in demanding the immediate release of our detained SEIU sister Llewellyn Dixon, and for Alfredo Juarez as well. Migrant workers are the backbone of economies worldwide. This is especially true in America and in Washington State. Yet migrant workers remain among the most vulnerable to exploitation, forced labor, and modern forms of slavery. This is sobering to acknowledge standing outside of the Northwest Detention Center. As we heard from La Resistencia, detainees at this facility have been forced to perform jobs like preparing food, scrubbing showers, clearing floors for as little as $1 per day compensation. Yay! Detainees here have been forced to perform labor while also being neglected access to appropriate food and medical care. Yay! It's important to gather here and assert that these are basic violations of human rights. The private for-profit Geo Group, and it is important to name the corporations that are profiting off of this. Geo Group runs this facility, and they made $2 billion in revenue in 2024 and over $640 million in gross profit. Yay! Geo Group even employs union labor in other states. Yet they fought for years requirements for minimum wage for forced detainee labor, only meeting Washington's legal wage as of January 2025, thanks to more than a decade of grassroots community organizing led by La Resistencia and others, including legislative fights that have outlawed private prisons in Washington state. Yet despite these victories, the Northwest Detention Center continues operating as a federally exempt private prison, where multiple of our union members, beloved community members, family members, and coworkers are detained, awaiting slow legal hearings, awaiting promised assistance from consulate services, and awaiting supervised visits from friends and family members. Sincerely thank you to everyone who has made time to be here, everyone who continues to tirelessly raise the stakes of this struggle for justice. For Kuya Max, Auntie Lynn, and every exploited migrant worker, let us continue to fight for what we know is right. Thank you. With that, I believe our next speaker is from the Washington State Labor Council. Thank you for being here as well in solidarity.
Thank you. Hello all, my name is Sarah. I am a staffer at the Washington State Labor Council and also a proud member of OPIU 8. And I'm here to read a statement from our leadership, accompanied by my union sibling from MLK Labor and a fellow OPIU 8 member. Woo. Thank you. So the Washington State Labor Council, we represent over 600,000 union members all across the state. And we are all united in our condemnation of attacks on our immigrant coworkers, neighbors, and our loved ones. We thank Tanggol Migrante, La Resistencia, and all the other community groups that have been leading in this fight. As my machinist brother Steve said better than I ever could, an injury to one is an injury to all. So when the feds come for Brother Max, for Sister Lynn, and their fellow detained immigrants, that is an attack on all of us. So with one voice, we call for their release. Free them. But while the WSOC represents union members, we fight for the rights of all working people. That includes Kuya Dante and every single person held inside the Northwest Detention Center. Because immigrant rights and workers' rights, they're one and the same. Because it is working people who are being targeted by immigration enforcement. Those same working people whose labor powers our country. No one should be subjected to the deadly conditions at this facility. No one should be taken from their family. No one should be held without bond. No one should be deprived of their basic human rights. And no one should be able to profit off human misery the way Geo Group does. As the largest labor organization in Washington State, we call for the release of our union siblings, for the release of all those held at this detention center, and for this for-profit, inhumane facility to finally be shut down for good. Thank you.
Fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight,
We win! Thank you to the Washington State Labor Council for the continued solidarity from the first rally for Auntie Lynn months ago and continuing as we away from, that's screeching because me. Yeah, thank you. Before we pass to our final speaker, I was going to give a pass around of the fundraising box for Kuya Max, for legal support. And I think Brandon's going to give some final updates on the rallies, that the National Day of Action, before Brian takes the mic.
One of the things that we've been demanding is that the consulate actually show up to these trials in which their nationals are being judged, right? So one of the things that we delivered in San Francisco was the demand for Consul General Neil Ferrer to show up to Auntie Lynn's court date. It's the least that he could do, right? Unfortunately, no confirmation, no promises. So really, right, we have to keep fighting. There's just no other way, right? There's no other way. If anything will happen, if anything will change for our migrant kababayans, or for all migrants, right? It's going to be the unity of the people, the unity of the workers, and unity of the migrants themselves that changes anything. So I'm really excited to bring up next Marie from Bayan to share more about the power that Filipinos are building to change Philippine society.
Grassroots Alliance of Filipino migrant workers, youth, women, and families fighting for our people's rights and for our right to a free Philippines. We are proudly part of the National Democratic Movement in the Philippines. We are also a member of the Tanggol Migrante Network. Just this morning, the Philippine Embassy finally responded to a letter sent by Tanggol Migrante after weeks of silence to claim that Tanggol Migrante is insincere in our efforts to genuinely help and support the kababayans and families in crisis and distress. Yay! It is an insult to the Filipino people to call our efforts insincere when we are currently standing in front of the detention center right now, demanding for government action and response. When the opportunity arose for the Philippine consulate to intervene for Kuya Max and his family, the consulate completely and wholly failed the Londoños. That is a disgrace. When Kuya Dante's wife urgently reached out to the Philippine consulate, they claimed they could not help her. That is a disgrace. Auntie Lynn has been in detention since February, and our community visits her regularly. The last and only time the consulate visited her was in early April. Yay! Despite submitting requests for assistance to nationals to the consulate 4 times, she's received absolutely nothing. Yay! The Philippine state budget has trillions of pesos, and instead of using that for migrants in crisis, for Kuya Max, for Auntie Lynn, for Kuya Dante, for Ate Michelle, for our kababayan to have access to legal support and basic livelihood, it puts more and more money into militarizing and bombing its own people. Yay! Instead of pressuring the Trump administration to release Filipinos from detention, the Marcos regime purchased 20 F-16 jets worth $5.58 billion from the U.S. to make our homeland a battleground. Yay! While it was us, the Filipino people, and through Tanggol Migrante Network, that we were able to help ensure the release of Ate Michelle. And trust me, we will do the same for Auntie Lynn, for Kuya Max, and for Kuya Dante. Free them all! Free them all!
Free them all! Free them all! Free them all!
The Philippine Embassy and consulates are responsible for ensuring the rights and welfare of the millions of overseas Filipinos that are abroad right now. We have Philippine nationals languishing in detention right now, and yet the Philippine Embassy has refused to exert their diplomatic relations to appeal for the release of our detained kababayans. Yay! The families and communities have shouldered the Philippine government's responsibility to defend our migrants, because every minute they suffer in detention is 1 minute too long. That's right. To Ambassador Romualdez, to the Philippine government, to Marcos, do your job. Do your job.
Do your job. Do your job. Do your job.
We are out here fighting for our kababayan because of your abandonment of our people. You are accountable to us. We demand the Philippine consulate intervene and apply pressure so that Kuya Max and Kuya Dante are released immediately. We demand that Neil Ferrer and the SF consulate come to Auntie Lynn's court hearing on May 29 and demand for her immediate release. Ambassador Romualdez, do your job, and if you don't, you might as well just step down. Anda! Ang bayan! Tuloy! Tuloy ang laban! Tuloy! Tuloy ang laban! Anda! Ang bayan! The people united will never be defeated! Makipaka!
Wag matakot!
Wag matakot!
Makipaka!
Thank you.
Do your job! Free, 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 Auntie Lynn! Free, 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 Auntie Lynn! Free, 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 Kuya Max! Free, 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 Kuya Max! Free, 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 Kuya Dante! Free, 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 Kuya Dante! Free, 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 free them all! Free, 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 free them all! Free, 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 free them all! Free, 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 free them all!
Thank you, Marie. Thank you, Bayan. This brings us to the conclusion of our scheduled program. We do have 2 cultural offerings, but this fight is going to continue. There's going to be continued actions actually here in the upcoming week for Auntie Lynn, and others are going to be coming from Portland, I believe in this week too, with International Migrants Alliance. So these fights will continue. But yes, thank you for being here, and thank you for making such a quick response to put this coalition together. Before we have a closing cultural, I would like to welcome Michael from the Beacon United Methodist Church to offer a prayer. Thank you.
Thank you, Wade. Yeah, thank you everyone who's spoken today. Really feeling for the families today, and really appreciate and your courage, and yeah, you're wanting for us to fight here for you. I don't think there's any words that can be said for anyone that is in this inhumane condition at the moment. We feel your pain, your grief, and we're here with you too. Given that, I know that I just also want to set a disclaimer that yeah, as a member of the Beacon United Methodist Church, we know that church is not also a friendly or welcoming place for everyone. But even given that, want to ground in these words with the spirit that folks have shared today. I think it's something that is just shared, whether you want to call it Christianity or any other name. It's the spirit of solidarity, of unity, of strength, of coming together when things are hard, of love. It really is love. Many of you have come from many different locations, places, time in your day, and that adds up. And we also know it adds up for the good, for things to change, for things to change, for things to change. So given that, I offer a litany that's from our United Methodist Church. There'll be a call and response. There'll be an area where I will say, and so shall we, and I will ask you to say, and so shall we. Today is the day. God cares for the integrity of creation, wills the healing and wholeness of all life, weeps at the plunder of earth's goodness, and so shall we.
And so shall we.
Today is the day. God embraces all hues of humanity, delights in diversity and difference, favors solidarity, transforming strangers into friends, and so shall we.
And so shall we.
Today is the day. God cries with the masses of starving people, despises growing disparity between rich and poor, demands justice for workers in the marketplace, and so shall we.
And so shall we.
Today is the day. God deplores violence in our homes and streets, rebukes the world's warring madness, humbles the powerful, and lifts up the lowly. And so shall we. Today is the day. God calls for nations and peoples to live in peace, celebrates where justice and mercy embrace, exults when the wolf grazes with the lamb, and so shall we.
And so shall we.
And this final part will just be a call and response, so just repeat what I say. Today is the day.
Today is the day.
God brings good news to the poor.
God brings good news to the poor.
Proclaims release to the captives.
Proclaims release to the captives.
Gives sight to the blind.
Gives sight to the blind.
And sets the oppressed free.
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 And so shall we.
And so shall we.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. I think I'm going to welcome up Jem from Resist to introduce our closing cultural. Thank you.
Hi, I'm from Resist US Led War Seattle. Thank you all so much for being here today. I wanted to invite up folks to sing with us. We are, we've been hearing stories today about the families and the people who are really fighting for their loved ones and fighting for themselves inside the detention center and outside of it in solidarity. And really, the horrible conditions of being separated from your family and the strength of migrants to really fight. So we wanted to come up and sing a song called Mother's Day that really talks about the spirit of
Free them all! 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 Free them all!
You are not alone!
You are not alone.
You are not alone!
You are not alone!
You are not alone!
You are not alone! You are not alone! You are not alone! You are not alone! You are not alone! You are not alone! You are not alone!
Thank you, everybody. So we wanted to come up here and sing this song, Mother's Day song, really about the determination of women and families and people to fight for a better future for themselves and their loved ones. So anyone who knows the words, please come up and help us. Come up, sing with us. I know some of y'all know this song. All right. 3 of us. Woo! Technical difficulties, give us a couple. Y'all know this song, Mother's Day song. I see some of y'all.
If anyone has the lyrics, you can bump it in our signal chat for people to follow along.
You can also come up here and I will show you the lyrics on a phone. Thank you. Free Auntie Lynn!
Free Auntie Lynn!
Free Kuya Max!
Free Kuya Max!
Free Kuya Dante!
Free Kuya Dante!
Free them all!
Free them all!
Free them all!
Free them all!
Free Auntie Lynn!
Free Auntie Lynn!
Free Kuya Max!
Free Kuya Max!
Free Kuya Dante!
Free Kuya Dante!
Free them all!
Free them all!
Okay, thank you for bearing with us. Here's Mother's Day song.
Children are hungry, they're sick from the heat. While I pick the crumbs for others to eat, and you take my money, you think I don't see. You use it to fire on women like me. My children are ragged, their bodies are bare, while I sew the clothes for others to wear. And you take my money, you think I don't see. You use it to fire on women like me. I live in a dump, my landlord's no good. While I clean the homes in a rich neighborhood, and you take my money, you think I don't see. You use it to fire on women like me. I wanted my children to have a good skill, but they're in your army and they learn to kill. And you take my children, you think I don't see. You teach them to fire on women like me. Your rifles and guns won't win any wars unless you've got something that's worth fighting for. We fight for the people, just you wait and see. They've started a fire in women like me. We fight for the people, just you wait and see. They've started a fire in women like me.
Free them all!
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 Let's do it, everyone!
Just want to thank everyone for coming today, for showing up, for continuing to fight, because I don't know if this has been made clear enough today, right? That's what we have to do in order to free Auntie Lynn, in order to free Kuya Dante, in order to free Kuya Max, right? And in fact, the Filipino people have never stopped fighting. The Filipino migrants have never stopped fighting for as long as our people have been forced by administrations like the Marcos government, by US imperialism to leave our homeland, right? Whether it's the Delano grape workers, right? Or Silmi and Jean Domingo, labor organizers who were murdered by the current President Marcos's father, right? we have to be like them. We have to continue fighting for our communities. So thank you everyone for coming today, and stay tuned for more ways that you can support these migrants as in their struggle. Reminder that there's a donation box and that we need to keep showing up, especially on the court date. So stay tuned for that. But thank you everyone for coming today.
If folks would like to take a group photo, I think we can gather up here. I think some others will be hanging around in solidarity a bit longer as we're reaching dusk. But otherwise, please, everyone, travel home safely. Did we have a docu photo lined up? I think it would be good if people want to show solidarity, but otherwise, everyone, please travel home safely. Thank you.
Yeah, totally. I'm going to be editing it down and posting it on YouTube, and I also was live streaming. Email.
Supporting a national democratic movement of the masses, trying to break the cycle of poverty and classes. Access to education, healthcare, employment. People ain't just for this enjoyment. Land is life and it's divided outright. So a peasant ain't a peasant, making farmers and rice. See a city at night, made us scrap, takes the trash for the people. You can ask how they stop the demolition of their homes. They got